Hello Aquarius, welcome to your reading for the month of April with the Green Witch Oracle and me, Joey Morris, the Starry-Eyed Hedge Witch. We're going to have a look at what plant spirit is going to aid you magically, divinationally, astrally, what's going to heal you and support you through the month of April. What are the messages that you need to hear? If you would like to hear more, of course, you can go over to my Patreon, where weekly we have a card reading to help you get your energies in alignment. And if you're on a particular tier, you can have a personal reading each month. So without further ado, let's have a look what the Green Witch Oracle has to say for you, my darlings. Oh, we have baby, and wisdom. So it is in the fire section, which makes sense because it's corresponding to fire. Celestially, it is Jupiter and Leo. So the quote here is by Elizabeth Lawrence. I love being asked to identify plants, and I don't know which gives me more pleasure, to know what they are or to not know. Interesting. External assistance should be sought, which can be in the form of personal consultancy or research. You do not have all the facts or all the faculties just yet, but you're still in a good position. Bay indicates success through diligent application and also heralds new romantic relationships. Oh, well, that's 2 for 2 so far with new romances then. Be wary of speaking your mind without care of others around you, as you are not going to be the most knowledgeable or experienced in every situation. Magically, it is used for clairvoyance, energy, wishes, defense, and inspiration, and is associated with Asclepius, Apollo, Ceridwen, Cupid, Daphne, Delphi, Eros, Faunus, Helios, and Ra. Gosh, that's quite a whole load. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I think about Bay here, and we're going to pull on some more resources to give you a full-rounded informational goodies about bay. Now, you've probably heard about the wish fulfillment spell when it comes to a bay leaf. It's one of the most simplistic but really effective forms of witchcraft that you will see everywhere, all over social media, which is to take a bay leaf, to write your wish upon said bay leaf, and you will get... I realise that sounded a bit like bailiff. Don't write wishes and burn some bailiffs. Or if you do, don't tell them I sent you. And you kind of have people say you should write it in silver or you should write it in gold. I enjoy gold for high positive manifestation magic personally, but whatever floats your boat really. And burning that wish and visualising it coming into being. Gorgeousness, gorgeousness, gorgeousness. It is, of course, associated very much with Apollo chasing a nymph who did not want him, Daphne. And she was turned into a laurel tree, and then he wore it round his head, which is a strange old myth from, well, many of the Greek myths are a little bit on the strange side, aren't they? But there you go. So wish fulfillment is definitely an aspect here, and you can, of course, perform said spell nice and easy, nice and simple this month if you would like your wishes to come true. But here we're looking a little bit more at wisdom. Associated with fire, bay leaves are used in divination, clairvoyance, and inducing visions. They are also useful in metaphysical skills, protection from psychic attack, boosting general magic, and aiding psychic development. Bay leaves are used in clairvoyance and wisdom brews, and you can eat them, so you can use them in like a tea, if you like. The most obvious use is within like curries and things like that, delicious, but you can use them in cooking, so that's a really wonderful way to use that fire alchemy. And if you do use it in curry, you can create a harmony, a symphony with a lot of other very fiery or solar based herbs, so you create this alchemaic gorgeousness in the kitchen, hopefully, and don't burn the kitchen down, please, Aquarians. And then you ingest it, you take it into your body, and there is that body wisdom in that, and like tradition and magic and plants being used to be ingested, to be taken in, and then you're infusing all that magic into your body just by eating it, which, you know, it's a great way of doing things. Kitchen witchery is not appreciated often enough. We have already mentioned, of course, bay laurel being associated with Apollo, The leaves were also chewed and burned by Apollo's prophetic priestesses at Delphi, which ties into its uses in divination. Maybe have a chew on a bay leaf, see how you feel about it. There is, by the way, we have covered this on Patreon, evidence to suggest originally Delphi belonged to his sister Artemis. So I'm a little bit suspicious there. I'm a little bit like, Bay is also used for purification. It is used in consecrating things, dispelling negative entities as well as energies, to break spells and provide protection against negative magic. When placed in the corners of the home, it will protect those who dwell there and can be burned as well to achieve the same effect. It can also be used for love, passion, harmony, inspiration, wisdom, justice, memory, release, strength, fertility, victory, and employment. Bay oil can be used to treat arthritic pain, lower back pain, earache, sore muscle, and sprains. Can it be used in cooking, taken in tea, used in herbal baths, and infused into oil. However, the oil should never be used by women who are pregnant and should never be taken internally. That's the oil, as you must dilute the oil into smaller amounts. Okay, so it's also a really gorgeous little herb if you are creating spells using like crystal grids, or if you're doing a herbal version of a crystal grid with or without crystals. You can mix and match. I like to do kind of spells that are very aesthetically pleasing, and for the month of April, by the way, we're going from a very fiery sign, Aries, into Taurus. So the fire element of this stands really well for you guys. But when we move into Taurus, you can bring in a little bit more of that earthy cooking magic. So actually the shift might work really well for you guys, because you can use that to your advantage with this magic. So wisdom can come in all forms, but of course the idea of the wise ones is very much tied into the witchery, right? The knowledge of the way that the weird WYRD works in and around us, spiritual ecosystem, drawing down spiritual information, psychic insights, wish fulfillment. All of that ties into a spiritual life, which vibes really, really well with a lot of Aquarians. And it's going to depend on the rest of your chart, of course. Feel free to check out your rising and moon sign as well as your sun sign for a full rounded picture. So you're kind of stepping into your power at the same time, Aquarians. We are humbly doing so because we have to realize that we are not always going to be the smartest cookie in the room. I really like the quote from Merlin. It's from the 1980 film Excalibur. I think it's 1985, maybe 86. And it's the quote is, "There's always something smarter than yourself." And he's actually talking about like fish or something like that. It's like an animal. But Merlin, one of the most famous of all wizards and magicians, and he's based on Taliesin from the Celtic myth of Cerridwen, and Merlin was a title originally, but we know him these days as Merlin. He is saying, there is knowledge and wisdom in all things, so that's worth bearing in mind this month, having a look at where wisdom and knowledge can be gleaned from when perhaps you weren't expecting it. That is going to stand you in really good stead for the month, Aquarians. That's going to step you into some magic and help you manifest your dreams, your wishes. This is a good month for shifting into overdrive with getting things done, especially in that Aries energy at the start. So don't be afraid to burn a little bay, make a little wish, make a little love, get down tonight, and have a good month, my darlings. And I'll talk to you on the next one. If you would like to hear more, of course, you can go over to my Patreon, where we will do a weekly reading for you guys going forward. From very soon, we're going to have plenty more time to devote to Patreon, and I'm very excited. We're going to be doing Morrigan this coming month together and looking at all her beautiful shape-shifting energy, and each month we go much deeper into the connection with plant spirits. So if you would like to learn from a hedge witch on how to be a little more aligned with plant spirits, green witchery, come on over to Patreon and find out more. Many blessings.